It is Thursday, my friends, and we are going to be learning a new sound spelling pattern today. So I hope that you're able to work productively and positively on the O versus A sounds from yesterday. If not, we are going to review those. We're not just going to one and done these. We're going to cycle back through. So if you need to review the lesson, feel free to just go back and rewatch it. Today we're going to introduce a new topic, so move on to this video when you're ready. Today is Thursday, 4/16. We have phonemic awareness. I have more of the final sound deletions and some substitution work for you. We have sound practice with the long and short I sound. Then we have some spelling chains. Oops, I partly deleted or partly erased the end there. And we have some sentence and word dictation at the very end. As always, I'm going to try to keep this lesson down to 25 minutes or less so that you don't go crazy. So, we have to do our phonemic awareness. Now, because I'm in a different area with the new backdrop, right, I have to use my phone with all the lesson notes. Normally it's on my screen, but I'm not going to carry my PC down here. That would be crazy. So you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to be looking at my phone for this. So, phonemic awareness. Sounds, then letters, then words, then sentences. That's our model of learning to read. Let's start with the sounds. Say bad. Say bad. Instead of b, say h. Had. Bad, had. Say men. Say men. Instead of say t. 10. Men, 10. Last one of the substitutions. Say sheep. Say sheep. Instead of sh, say k. Keep. Sheep, keep. Do you hear how by changing the first sound in those words, the onset, it makes them rhyme? You have bad, had. They have the same ending sounds. Bad, had. You have men and 10, and sheep and keep. Substitution is one of those skills that is an advanced phonemic awareness skill. It's something we really do need to master. I hope that you did well with it too. Okay, now we're going to do our final phoneme deletion. This is where some of you are struggling, and that's totally okay. I'm hoping that we make 10% progress every day, and we'll get there. So, for speed and brevity, I'm not going to tap the sounds. I've done a bunch of that modeling. I think you know how to do it. I want you to pause the video after I read the word or say the word the second time, and then I want you to tap the sounds and resume it. Okay? Do that until you don't need to do it anymore. To remind you of what I mean, I will tap the sounds in the first word, but then after that, pause the video, and I'll give you a reminder when we get there so that we can keep this moving. So, say worm. Say worm. Tap the sounds in the word worm. W-er-m. Worm. Now say worm again, but don't say W-er. Were. That's what I want you to do on your own for the next 6 words. The tapping the sounds part. So, let's give it a shot. Say sunk. Say sunk. Now pause and tap. Now say sunk again, but don't say k. Say slump. Say slump. Pause and tap. Now say slump again, but don't say p. Say guilt. Say guilt. Pause and tap. Now say guilt again, but don't say t. I feel very odd not giving you the right answer here. Let's just check. Did you get were, sun, and sun, slum, and gill? If we say guilt without the t at the end, we get gill. Let's do the last 3. Say shelf. Say shelf. Pause and tap. Now say shelf again, but don't say f. Shell. Say York. Say York. Pause and tap. Now say York again, but don't say k. Your. And last one, say hill. Say hill. Pause and tap. Now say hill again. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed that one up. It was supposed to be hilt, but when you say hilt, don't say t. You get hill. I got that backwards when I typed out the lesson. That's my mistake. Okay. Well, there's our phonemic awareness. Sound deletion at the end of a word trains your brain to pay attention to the sounds that come at the end, which is super important for what we are going to be working with today. That's the VCE. As readers who are advancing in your skills, you have to train your brain to be able to hear the sound and see the letters at the ends of words. It's not just about the beginning anymore, which is where we've largely focused our efforts, and you've mostly mastered those. It's about the endings now. Okay, we need to have all of our attention spread evenly across the words so that you pick up the information at the end of words. In this case, it's going to be the silent E that makes long vowels, which is what we're going to study right now. We need to talk about the sounds for the letter I. I is kind of a weird word or weird sound because it does a lot of different things. We're going to look at the long and the short vowel I today, but as we become better spellers, you're going to find out that I is kind of like a Swiss Army knife of letters. It shows up in all different places. So this is one we should take our time with and learn carefully because there's a lot of exceptions later on. So let's make sure first that you can make the I sounds. The short I says I. Watch my mouth as I say I. I. What am I doing to make that sound? I. I gotta smile a little bit. I'm bringing my teeth quite close together. I. Almost touching, right? And I'm tightening everything from my nose to my jaw. I. Make that sound and see if you can feel the tension or the tense vowel for short I. I. Can you make that sound? Let's compare that to the long I sound, which says its name. That's what long vowels do. I. I. What's the difference in those two sounds? I. Well, one big difference is that when I make the long I sound, I have to open my mouth a little bit more. A lot more, actually. They're both tense vowels, meaning you have to tighten your jaw and kind of smile a little bit. And that's what could be confusing for some learners. Now, I is a particular one that seems to want to blend into nasals and liquids, which are your and 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 ol. So I'm going to stay away from spelling those in our word chain and the phonic discrimination stuff today. However, if your child is picking up on it, I did include liquids and nasal sounds in the advanced word chain. So if they nailed the simple one, I included harder material in the advanced one. That's what it's for, right? So if you can make the I and the I sound, then you can also make the hand signs to tell the difference between them. Do you remember what they were? If it has a long I sound, I, you're going to hold up this, right? Because one connects to the E at the end. This is the VCE sign, okay? If it's a short I, we're going to shake our fingers like that. And we're going to use this activity to tell the difference between the long I and the short I sounds. Oop, don't delete that, okay. When I read some words to you. So this is phonic discrimination. No letters. We're not writing anything down. All you're doing is listening, and then if it has a long vowel I sound, I, hold up 2 fingers. If it has a short vowel I sound, shake your fingers. Okay? Let's give it a shot. It. Long or short? It. Short. I. Teeth are very close together. Ice. Long or short? Ice. Long. I. My teeth are pretty far apart when I say ice. Pig. Long or short? Pig. That's short. Pig. You can say these two aloud and see if you can process them with your jaw. Tide. Long or short? Tide. Ooh, my screen went blank. That's long. Eyed. Eyed. Wipe. Wipe. Long or short? Wipe. Long. If we segment the word real quickly, w-I-p. We have three sounds, three phonemes, w-I-p. And that I makes my teeth come apart in order to say that sound. Next one, wig. Wig. Long or short? Wig. Short. W-I-I-G. All right, and two more. Did. Did. Long or short? Did. That's short. Teeth are very close together. Did. And last one. Died. Died. Long or short? Long. I. Teeth came apart. Died. So those are our long and short sounds. Now, as a parent at home, if you can come up with more examples, there are many more examples. My issue today with the word chains was actually coming up with examples that fit not having nasals and liquids, because I seems to want to blend with those. There are many more examples. I encourage you to practice that discrimination activity with your children at home in order to build their vowel knowledge. What we're going to do now is take that vowel knowledge that we just practiced, and we're going to apply it now to letters. So here's the point where I remind you that you need something to write with, something to write on, and something to erase with. So we've done our phonemic awareness, we did our sound work, we studied the long and short I. Now we're going to apply that to some words in a word chain. All right? Ready? Now, the goal with a word chain is that I am only changing one phoneme per letter. It's always going to have a long I, so that helps us, it supports our retention of that spelling pattern. But I'm going to change the first and sometimes the third sound. So let's begin with a simple word that I am positive that you know how to spell. Say bit. Can you spell bit? Here's how we begin the chain. Do we have a long or a short I in bit? We have a short I. Here's how we spell bit. Bit. All right. Now, from bit, we want to change bit to bite. Say bite. Your teeth coming apart or staying close in bite? Coming apart. That means we have a long vowel. B-I-T. But there's a consonant that follows that long I sound. The consonant T gets in the way. So we need an E at the end of that word to tell the I to say its name. So here's what it looks like. Okay, you might have already figured this out, and if so, that's awesome. You're ready to move on. But for those that didn't figure it out, we've got B-I-T, bite. And because of that darn consonant, we need an E to tell the I to say its name, so we know the difference between the words bit and bite. This one is bite. If your child is still struggling to get the VCE pattern down, I encourage you to use that little bow to connect them. It can be on the top or the bottom. It doesn't matter as long as they have a visual cue. So from bite, I want you to spell the word site. Site. Like a website. Give you a second to spell it. Here's the word site. The S replaced the B to make site. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to do that same pause and tap and pause and spell so that you can use your time to do it. And I will move a little bit quicker. It'll make the lesson flow faster. I think it's a better resource when we do that. So let's try it with the next one. Say psych. Pause, tap, and spell the word psych. Now if you're back, here's how we spell psych. S, I, k, s, I, k. Bite, sight, psych. Okay? There will be some nonsense words in these chains today. It was necessary to stay away from the nasals. So from psych, I want you to say the word pike. Pike. Pause, tap, and spell the word pike. Okay, here's how we spell the word pike. P-I-K. P-I-K. Pike. It's just long enough that every time we do this, my phone turns off. Okay. Now, I want you to say the word pipe. Pipe. Pause, tap, and spell the word pipe. Here's how we spell the word pipe. P-I-P. Pipe. Let's read over our list to practice our spelling patterns here. We have bite, sight, psych, pike, pipe. Are you ready for the next word? I want you to say the word ripe. Ripe. Pause, tap, and spell the word ripe. All right, here is how we spell the word ripe. R-I-P. Ripe. Make sure you're tapping and reading it along with me. R-I-P. Ripe. Ooh. Now, next one, I want you to say the word ride. Say ride. Pause, tap, and spell the word ride. Here's how we spell the word ride. R-I-D. If we don't have the E, we have the word rid. We want R-I-D. We need the E to make the I say its name. That is the VCE long vowel spelling pattern. Two left. Say tide. Tide. Pause, tap, and spell the word tide. Okay, here we go. Here's how we spell tide. T-I-D. Tide. And last one, say hide. Hide. Pause, tap, and spell the word hide. That was a very ugly E I just drew. There we go. So here's how we spell the word hide. H-I-D. H-I-D. Hide. Let's reread our word chain once to practice these words and try to sink them into your memory. And then we'll do our dictation with a couple challenge words and our sentence for the day. You read these words to me. Okay, I'm going to be honest, I couldn't hear you, but I'm sure that you tried your best. So let me know in Google Classroom's comments how you did with spelling with this VCE pattern today. Or if you want, you could record yourself reading some of these words and share the link on Google Classroom if your parents are okay with that. I know it's a little bit weird because, you know, you're teenagers. But if you're comfortable with that and your parents are comfortable with you reading some of these words back to me, that'd be another way for me to get to see how you're progressing. So the last thing that we're going to do is our dictation exercise. I have 3 words I'm going to throw at you pretty quickly with the pause, tap, and spell thing in order to save some time, and a sentence for us to work on. So our 3 challenge words are they words we spelled? One of them is. Whoops. 2 of them are. That's okay. We're not doing any kind of liquids or blends yet. So say tide. Pause, tap, and spell the word tide. Okay, now say hike. Hike. Pause, tap, and spell the word hike. And the last one, say pipe. Pipe. Pause, tap, and spell the word pipe. Okay, if you need more time, pause it. Otherwise, I'm going to show you these 3 words. We're going to check our spelling together for a little assessment. Tide, hike, pipe. Did you get 3 out of 3? If so, great work. I'm really proud to hear that. Did we miss 2 or 1? That's okay. We're going to continue practicing. Learning is about making mistakes, figuring out why they're mistakes, and then adjusting so that you do it correctly. It's not really about getting it right the first time. That's not learning. That's luck. So here's what we got going on. We have a sentence. The sentence has 2 VCEs. One of them is a review word from yesterday. I thought that would be a nice little challenge for you. So here's the sentence. I'll read it twice. You can pause and rewind it if you need to hear the sentence, or you can have your teacher at home, parent or whoever, read the sentence to you as well. But I want you to listen to, and then write the complete sentence, which means you got to have a capital letter and a period somewhere in there, right? Here's the sentence. I can fix the pipe in my home. I can fix the pipe in my home. Pause me now while you write the sentence. All right, now I have written the sentence out on my end. The sentence was, I can fix the pipe in my home. And just to help illustrate for you the VCE pattern, I drew the bows on the words. I think that's a great idea that we should continue doing until you've mastered these patterns. So here is our sentence. I can, read it with me, I can fix the pipe in my home. We have 2 VCEs, pipe, and home. How did you do on our dictation sentence? Did you do a good job? I would, as always, I would love to hear any feedback from your progress, from what your parents are seeing, any information that can help me direct these lessons and make them more useful to you. Because this is the most important thing that I can do right now as a teacher, is help you guys practice and sharpen your reading skills. Because when we come back to school, we're not going to have very many weeks left in the school year, so I want to maximize our time at home to make sure that you are progressing rather than just spinning our wheels. So let me know if you're a parent, observations of what you're seeing at home in terms of their growth, in terms of their struggles, in terms of their successes. And if the kids want to leave me a comment, that would be a lot of fun. I know tomorrow's Friday, but I am still going to upload a lesson. It's going to be an extension of the long vowel I thing with some more liquids and nasals, so we can continue to practice this in as many different word scenarios as we can. And then, of course, there won't be anything Saturday or Sunday. Monday, we're going to move on to long U. So we will have covered A, O, U, and I. There aren't as many of these for E, so that's why I'm leaving it to the end. I'm maximizing where the most of them are. So with that, this is a shorter than usual lesson, but who's going to complain about that, right? Let me know if you need anything in Google Classroom. I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you again tomorrow. Stay active.